Not so much shock across the globe. Like we predicted, Canelo planted a seed into plants. And of course, the Nigerian nightmare continue in his dastardly acts across the weekend. Of course, United lie down like a fallow for City to slaughter. I don't know what's happening with Ronaldo. He's still the best show in the whole wide world. My name is still Aleja Adebowale. It's still news in Star Sports, airing on a band radio scope and of course on a podcast. The volume is not going up, guys. Listen to us, stream us, download us. We appreciate your patience as we grow together. I have the gang with me today. I got Oracle G. I have Mr. Manchester United, and of course, I have Eddie Medasa. You guys can introduce yourself properly. Let's start with you, Kachi.
Sports fans, it was an amazing weekend. First of all, let me say it's Debo's birthday week. I'm really happy for that. Secondly, Milan couldn't capitalize on Napoli's slip up to climb up the league table. All this you will get to hear about. Stay tuned for a great show.
All right, perfect. Manchester United, man.
Yeah, good day, sporting fans around the world. Let me let you know that it was a very good sporting week for we FPL fans. I think I scored 73 points, which is not bad, without any Manchester United player in the board. Welcome again to the show.
All right, perfect. Shehi.
Yeah, welcome to the show, sport fans, and happy belated birthday once again to Debo.
Thank you very much, boss.
And what a fantastic weekend, record-making weekend for Canelo Alvarez. He has definitely sealed his name as one of the greats in the game, and also most likely as one of the boxing Hall of Famers. Welcome to the show. We'll be discussing that more very soon.
All right, perfect. So we'll move straight into the thick of the action, and we start with Plant, of course. Plant versus Canelo. This is what we expected, and we were expecting history to be rewritten or to be written for the first time, undisputed, holding all the 4 titles in his own division. Canelo Alvarez has done himself proud, done his country proud, and of course his family. And of course, for the fans, I'm not a fan of Canelo Alvarez, if you ask me anyways. You know, I like to support the winning team. Shay, I'm going to come to you. Just give us a summary of the match itself. Not what we were not expecting anyways. This is what we expected.
Yes. Thank you, Debo. It was what I think the end result was what we were, expecting. But it will be necessary for us to give some kudos to Caleb Plant. He held his own in the bout. I think if I have to score the bouts, I think I will score the bouts about 6-4 before the 11th round. And kudos to him for displaying good boxing intelligence. He was quite defensive on the night. He was, at all costs, he was avoiding the ropes. He didn't let Canelo, to hold him down on the ropes and make use of the combinations of jabs on the night. He did quite well. And if not for the the deadly left hook that we talked about last week that landed on his face, and afterwards everything he lost his balance, and he was able to Canelo was able to capitalize on his heart on the night and finished him up. But I think it's a good one for Canelo on the night. You can see his experience played out. Apart from that, you can see his endurance played out. As at the round 6-7, Canelo was still standing during the breaks. If you understand what that means, they are supposed to be sitting and be resting, right?
Yeah.
He was standing. at the corner. So that showed that the fire was still there.
Still there.
So it showed, yeah. The experience showed, the endurance showed. Canelo has been in the ring for like, I think like 60 times now. Imagine that compared to Plant that is just 22. So that's a big difference. One other difference is Canelo Alvarez team. Can you believe that his coach has not lost in the last, I think, 2 to 3 years? Eddie Reynoso is the coach of Sanchez that defeated our own Ifeanyi Jagba, actually. He's now the coach of Andy Ruiz. He's the coach of Ryan Garcia. So there are a lot of very good boxers under him.
Under his roster.
Yes. I think if we don't mention him on this show, we'll not be doing good justice to boxing. Bigs up to Eddie Reynoso, and I think the sky is the limit for that team.
All right, perfect. Of course, Kashi, I'm going to come to you. The Nigerian Nightmare that did his own, of course, on decision against COVID. Your overall analysis. This is what I was expecting. Sorry, I did not watch the match, as a matter of fact, but I saw the highlights and I saw Usman holding his forte against him.
Yes, it was a tactical masterclass by the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman, against somebody that maybe the fans of MMA call is #1 contender, especially with the supposed demise of Georges St. Pierre. The fight, obviously, we know it had a lot of animosity, building up. We saw how Colby Covington, through all sorts of vitriol, abuse, even going as far as abusing Kamaru's father, who at the time they fought the first time was in prison, serving a prison sentence. It was filled with misogyny, xenophobia, racism, but in spite of all that, Colby Covington, you cannot take it away from him. He's a terrific fighter. However, we would have said Kamaru really wanted that match to end in a knockdown, based on the amount of insults and everything that he probably had to endure. And he was able to achieve this in the second round, taking down Colby twice in that round with terrific jabs and counter punches. But credit to Colby, he came back in, I would say slightly in the third round, but more in the fourth round, which was the round I thought he kind of won. And in the fifth round, all Kamaru had to do was sustain the jab, because he had hurt Colby really bad, cutting him on the left eye in the second round. And that was what he focused on, constantly jabbing that eye. It lived up to the billing, but I don't know if it deserves a trilogy. But there was something that we did not expect at the end of the fight. And this was both fighters going to each other and expressing how the amount of respect they have for each other. So that's to let you know that whatever they do to build up the fight, sometimes are just smoke screens. These guys are gladiators. For him not to come back even after being taken down twice was amazing. But a bit of facts for those of you who like this kind of statistics. Kamaru has now defended his title successfully for the 5th time, just one behind Hughes, who did this 6 times. And he's still very far from Georges St. Pierre, who defended his title, I think 11 times successfully, either St. Pierre or Andre Silva. So, but pound for pound, Kamaru is there. Dana White, the president of UFC, kept saying he does not know who is better than Kamaru right now in that division. But we'll wait and see. The next thing is for Kamaru to see who is going to come up. Medvedev has to fight Covington. If either of them, then maybe Medvedev will get a third shot, or Covington will get a third shot. But kudos to the Nigerian Nightmare once again.
All right, perfect. Whoever comes, we're ready, and we're definitely going to defeat the person. Olali, I'm going to come to you now. We're flying across from the world of UFC into the world of basketball, and we'll be talking about. We'll start with the LA Lakers. I'm a sucker for for LeBron. And I know it's early days, like you would say. I don't feel it's early days anyways. I tend to disagree with you most times. But it's the cracks are kind of showing. LeBron now getting injured again, which is not something we've known him for. Of course, everybody will talk about 19th year and all is expected. But what that crystallizes for the fate of the Lakers is what worries me. What is expected of AD now? If LeBron is injured, we know AD is going to. I have this discussion with Kachi across the way that AD is not the tallest guy in basketball that I know. How comes he gets injured like a cracker biscuit every time, And it's annoying, honestly. If all his skills, all his abilities and injuries turning him downward, and of course, if LeBron gets injured the way he is right now for a longer period of time, what do we expect from Russell Westbrook now to fit into that role? Olali.
Yeah, we expect Russell Westbrook to do what Russell Westbrook always do. That's triple double, scoring the 20, probably averaging 26 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists in a game. I think for the meantime, when LeBron is out, Russell Westbrook will have to do all those his crazy triple double things. But looking at it at the bigger picture, for Anthony Davis, as talented as he is, I think he's not probably the most toughest guy, and I think his body anatomy is not really doing much favor. This is a team that most analysts believe is not a natural fit. And when you have a team that is not a natural fit, the team lacks, let me say, genuine shooters. But kudos to Carmelo Anthony. He has given them very good numbers off the bench. In fact, majority of the games they won, it was due to his own contribution. So, but like I said, the bigger picture is for a team that is not naturally fit like this, you need a lot of times to play, as in you need to play together in a lot of games so that you can figure out the rotation, who is our best starting five, who are the guys coming off the bench, who should be the sixth man. You need you need to play together. You don't want to go into the playoff having a bit of doubt about who is our starting, who is our who and who should be our starting five. Yeah. So exactly. So I think the bigger problem for Lakers with this LeBron injury, and my fear with the LeBron injury is for like 16, 17 years, LeBron hardly, I think he hardly got injured throughout his NBA career, if not for the last 2 or 3 years in LA, which is something that looks like is becoming of a coincidence with the age. We know LeBron is, I think, 37 going to 38. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So
36 going 37.
So that would be the biggest worry, because they need LeBron to be together. They need LeBron to play with most of these guys, to feel them, to know how to get everybody involved, because LeBron and Russell Westbrook naturally in the same team doesn't look naturally.
It doesn't look fit. Yeah, it's not a good fit.
So they need to play together for a sizable number of games to help them figure out what is best for them. For now, I think we just need to wait and see how things develop for the Lakers.
All right, perfect. And of course, the 76ers find Ben Simmons. I said I was not going to talk about him again, but of course, somehow he finds himself creeping to the news again. Bukachi, Steph Curry said he's not surprised by the 7-1 by the Golden State Warriors. I strongly feel they are favorites. This, for me, I feel they are favorite, and I keep saying it. As long as Kyrie is not back to his senses, Klay Thompson come back, even playing at 50% of his ability, I feel the Golden State Warriors have a very good chance. Are you surprised by the 7-1 by the Golden State Warriors so far? I am, if you ask me.
I have to be honest and say yes, I am. Particularly because of how they've been playing. This haven't been, games won by just one possession or whatever. Some of these games have been blowouts. starting with how they blew out the Lakers first game of the season, and most recently the New Orleans Pelicans as well. Also, the surprise was also based on how strong the West generally has always been when it comes to the two conferences in the NBA. I thought they would get a good run for their money, but there's one thing they have going for them, which I think a lot of teams in the NBA envies and would like. The Warriors don't have any drama. There's no drama. You know, the 76ers have their drama. The Bucks have their championship hangover. The Lakers have the ego and the right mesh happening. The Nets have whatever is going on with them. The Clippers have the Kawhi drama. Only the Warriors, even the Pelicans, have the Zion Williamson drama. Will he ever be fit? Will he come back to his own? So that has been a really, really positive advantage, so to speak, for the Warriors.
For the Warriors.
Secondly, the fact that the leader of the team is also without ego. He's yes, he's a point guard, but he's also happy if the ball is not in his hand. You know, he's not a ball dominant point guard, so to speak. So that ball gets spread around. I don't know, I can't remember if it was either you or someone on our social media page put up a particular possession. Not sure if it was the Warriors or the Chicago Bulls, but even if it wasn't the Warriors, that particular singular possession epitomizes what the Warriors do. Spread the ball around, you know, until they get the right shot. They don't force their shot. Did we think they would contend? Yes, we thought they would contend. We actually, at the preview, we said the Warriors would be right there with the best of them. But did we think, or did I personally think they would be leading the conference? I did not. But it's a breath of fresh air. We want to see people that we've not heard about before do things. Yes, we've heard about Draymond Green and the likes, but Andrew Wiggins, you know, and all these other young guys coming up. It's a fantastic news. And long may it continue. Long may the Warriors.
All right, perfect. I hope so as well. Just a quick question for in-season tradings. Of course, at the point in time, the Warriors are going to feel they're going to feel the physical strain. They want to get injured and the rest. Who do you think will be the best for an in-season trade for the Golden State Warriors? Just to spice up things a little bit.
Clearly, Ben Simmons. They need Ben Simmons to become unplayable. But I'm not sure that would happen. I think at this point, Ben Simmons is ready to sit out an entire year. But you know, the way the minds of these professionals work is so crazy that they really sometimes, most of these guys, they don't have the kind of circle that someone like LeBron does. I'm talking of, you know, Rich Carter or Maverick Carter or Rich Paul, people who can tell him the truth, even if it's not what they want. Right now, I think yes, Ben Simmons will arguably make them better, but does Ben Simmons himself think that's a good trade? And I just mentioned that right now, what the Warriors have going for them is their lack of drama.
It's their lack of drama, exactly.
They really want to attract that drama just because they want
because of
I don't think they want to.
But naturally, I don't think Ben Simmons is actually a dramatic person, just like probably compared to somebody like Kyrie. I think his drama is just his circumstances. It was a result of the circumstances that probably led to the drama. I think his case was not well handled. I think he made up his mind. He doesn't want to go back to Philly. But unfortunately, he has a long-term contract to honor. It's not looking good for both on his own side and on the as far as or what do you call it? And I think what made the whole case a bit dicey was when the issue of mental health crippled him. When Ben Simmons says, I think the 76ers were very sensitive. They didn't want to be, what do you call it, to be tagged as a team who doesn't care. So, but over time, they've not been getting enough updates report from Ben Simmons camp, and that's why they've resumed finding him as from his wages. So it's not looking good at all.
But drama aside, on a drama aside, do you agree or do you have a contrary opinion that Ben Simmons would obviously make the Warriors championship contender?
Ben Simmons will make any championship team better, especially a team like Warriors and what do you call it, and Nets that are surrounded with shooters.
Shooters, yeah.
Because we all know that Ben Simmons, what do you call it,
is a very
the
good
major
defender.
weakness.
Non-shooting PG.
Yeah, exactly. but Ben Simmons' brain is close to LeBron's brain when it comes to the way he sees the court. He can handle the ball very well. He can defend all the position. He's a good perimeter defender.
Somehow Ben Simmons is taking over my show, and I refuse to do that. I'm not going to allow Ben Simmons to take over my show, which is great one. That just shows us the dexterity, the talent that he exhibits. Drama apart, we cannot deny the talent of this young dude. We'll go on a short break right now, and when we come back, we'll be jumping straight into the world of football, where we have a whole lot of action packed up. Don't go anywhere, guys. Yeah, great one. We'll jump straight into the Premier League right now, where we had and also a fantastic one, depending on what side of England you are on. Just in the Premier League right now, top 4 in 2021. Most number of points. We have Manchester City with 83 points, Chelsea with 67 points. Surprisingly, West Ham with 65 points and Arsenal with 61 points. This trend tends to show in what we have as regards to results across the weeks we've had already.
Calendar year.
In the calendar year. This is just for 2021 calendar year, guys, not for a season. Of course, you don't win league by calendar year, you win it by season. So that just takes me directly to the game between West Ham and Liverpool at home. Don't forget, this same West Ham defeated Leicester City 4-1, knocked Manchester United out of the cup, beat Spurs, knocked Man City out of the cup, unbeaten in Europe with 3 wins from 4, ended Liverpool's 25 matches unbeaten, and currently they are 3rd on the log. Shay, we know people have given David Moyes the sticks in the past. They've given David Moyes sticks in the past, but definitely this is a turnaround, no matter how much you want to look at it. Shay.
Yeah, definitely it's a turnaround. I have to agree about that. And I also like to say something about this West Ham team. I think they've been developing they've been moving in the right path since last season. We saw the last half of last season, the surge towards the top, towards Europe. And also the Lingard that was unable to fit into Manchester United team, into their team, and a lot of things, turn better for the team. But this season, they don't have Lingard, and they still have quite the crop of the players they had last season. Yeah. So it definitely shows that they are moving in the right direction, especially with David Moyes. And look at this team. It's not that they really have a particular set of big stars or a kind of high quality players in the team. But I think the way David Moyes has been able to set up the team, one, and also to utilize those players, I think the abilities, their different qualities, it maximizes it. So I think that is what they do so far. They are the team that has scored the highest number of set pieces in the whole league. So I think that shows why they are in the top 3. The second at the top is Liverpool and Chelsea. These are teams also in the top 4 of the league. So definitely, I think it's in the right direction they are going. I just hope they have enough quality to actually push further and hold their own till
Hold
the
their
end of
own
the
for
season.
them. Oh, so 12 plus corners in the league right now. We have Liverpool with an average of 8.3, Man City with 8.3, Manchester United with 6.2, and West Ham with 6.1. We wonder why Manchester United with their level of corners are not anywhere near the top four right now, or they are not. They are near. Sorry, but they are not on the top four right now. And of course, overall in the game, we expected Mo Salah to perform magic. He could not. Kudos to the defenders of West Ham, of course, keeping him quiet, and Arnold doing what he does best. One assist and a goal on the night for Liverpool, which is great. And we can't get to say too much about this guy. His talent, only guy Sargent does not see the talent of TAA right now. And to another game, it's the Leeds United versus Leicester City game. Leicester, since they defeated Manchester United, looks like they've been high on their own supply since they defeated Manchester United. They've been going downward. Another disappointing 1-1 draw against the not so consistent Leeds United. Even the match happened at Ellen Road, we still expected them to do better than this. Don't forget, last week at the Europa League, they managed to draw against Spartan Moscow again as well. So it does not look so rosy right now at the King Power Stadium. Olale, your thoughts?
Yeah, not so rosy. Considering if you look at the team, this season they've been switching from 3-4, 3-5-2 to 4-3-3, not because of a tactical, what do you call this, necessity. It's more because of trying to figure out which one is the best way for them to play. It's been struggle all through, and they've had some bright moments, but the team is not really finding it easy at all compared to what they did in the last two seasons. Probably they might be victim of their own what do you call it,
Or their own
overachievement,
success.
which they are, yeah, of their own success. It's not looking good, honestly. There is an Avi Barnes. There is a how do you fit him in with Madison? Madison has not really been himself since that injury towards the end of last season.
Last season, yeah.
They've been a lot of the defense doesn't look assured like what they were some couple of seasons ago. So Yunchu has not really been himself. Ricardo, since he came back from his long spell, has not been the same Ricardo we knew before he got
Yeah.
injured. And there is still James Justin is still missing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a whole complete of struggle. Prior to beating United, they've actually been struggling. I think they've only won a match before. So I think I see this going on to the end of the season. They might need to make some probably tweak. They need to tweak something about the team, either the structure in attack or midfield. But it's not really looking good at all for them this season.
All right, perfect. Kachi, I'm gonna come to you now. Celebration on the white part of North London. Antonio Conte has been officially appointed, or was officially appointed as the coach of Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur tend to look at whatever the blue side of London is not eating again, and they take it up. At the press conference, Thomas Tuchel was actually asked that if he will ever move to Spurs. First is Mourinho, now Conte. But for 285 minutes, Spurs have not been able to muster a shot on target. This is terrible, if you ask me. Terrible in the league. This is terrible for a team that has Harry Kane, that has Son, and now they could only play a 0-0 nil draw, barren draw, and drab draw, if you ask me, against Everton. Nothing worthy in this match, apart from the fake penalty call that was rescinded. That's all, basically. But how long do we look at these struggles for Spurs, given that they have the best striker in the league, if you ask me?
Well, I think this would continue for as long as Harry Kane remains jaded. And as long as Antonio Conte continues to put up formations that suit Harry Kane, that means if they don't drop it. I think this issue is happening because right now they are not making Son the focal point of the attack, at least until Harry Kane gets his mojo. This reminds me of the Chelsea days when they had to play Fernando Torres by force because of the amount they bought him. When clearly he's currently not in the right frame of mind. I think Harry Kane needs to see a shrink. There's a little bit of disconnect in terms of his affection and love, not just for the game, but for the team. But you also have to give kudos to, I kind of saw snippets of Antonio Conte, even though it was the very first league game. I think the first step to recovery is not conceded. Let's not forget that midweek they played against Chelsea Arnhem, and they almost drew that game. Coming from the three goal up to Chelsea scoring 2 quick goals. You begin to wonder how Hugo Lloris, who is almost like a wall when he plays for France, ships in goals when he dons the uniform for Tottenham Hotspur. But how long will this continue? Coming back to your question, this will continue for as long as the team is still Harry Kane centric. I think they should leave the reins of the attack to Son. Probably just a slight change in formation, just pretty much switching the roles and getting Kane to be a bit deeper and be the assist, technically the number 8 to Son's number 9. Son is pretty much motivated, but we know that the formation, especially the formation they played against Newcastle, it's not the ideal formation Conte likes to play. Conte likes to play with bombing fullbacks. It remains to be seen how he would implement that in Spurs. But Kane may come back, or they may decide to leave Kane on the bench. But I still believe that they will only go as far as they change their formation to not depend fully on Harry Kane.
On Harry Kane, of course. I wish they don't have to. Kane's body language right now it's not the best. I feel Kane thinks he should have left what do you call it, Spurs over the summer. I don't know why they have to keep an unhappy player. Anyways, let's hope and pray that Kane gets back to his form that we've known him for in the past. And if this was Lukaku, I wonder what the English media will be saying right now. Southampton on Friday defeated Villa. Villa looks to be the whipping team right now. The only team that Villa can beat right now is Manchester United. I think in the last 6-7 matches, they've not been able to win any of their games, losing 6 out of it. I wonder how long their coach would be in job. Of course, we'll move to the Manchester derby. We're expecting so much was expected from this game. In terms of quality, both teams have quality. And we were expecting United to at least show some valor, at least show something. Don't just lay down like a slaughtered animal. But they did exactly that. They said in the last two home games between that United have had, they've been outshot by 17-35, and they've been passed by 798 passes to 1,549. That's whooping. Everybody and Lindelof, they had more attempts on their own goal than Manchester United had on Manchester City's goal. And of course, United have lost more Premier League games, 9, than Crystal Palace since the start of the season. Manchester United have conceded more goals at Old Trafford right now in the Premier League. And we wonder what the problems are. I think the problems are looking so glaring. And this is a fact that needs to be noted. United were better on the road last season up until their streak was broken sometime this season. their own form has always been terrible under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ola Ali, I'm going to start with you. What is the theater of James turning into? If we can't win matches, Manchester United cannot win matches at home. And how do you expect to contend if you cannot win matches in your own backyard?
Well, it's a bit of a sorrowful state United find themselves at presently. Like you rightly said, last season, and that they had a very good away record last season, and that one partly could be due to the fact some school of thought believe because of what do you call it empty stadiums makes it look like a neutral ground most times when you go to away matches. Unlike Old Trafford, at Old Trafford, you expected to take the initiative. Yeah. And this is where the problem starts from. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was given the job, I think it was the middle of 2018-2019 season. So in the first summer, and this is where it starts from. If you watch Owen Agrees on TV yesterday, the first summer of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that was when I knew United were going to have a problem. The three signings. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his only tactics was about running. He just wanted to play with the pace and probably play counter-attacking football. Counter-attacking football is good, but as a big team, counter-attacking football should not be your first option. So when you play at Old Trafford against low block defense, you need to take initiative. United doesn't have the idea of how to break teams down. United can only break down teams easily when they go when there is space for them to explore in the in the opponent defense. So that has always been it's a team lacking identity on how to play. And sometimes some of these players, the combinations are not just naturally fit. And me and you, I think we've had this discussion about sometimes when you don't have naturally fit players. So the team doesn't look like a natural fit, but as a manager, that's where you come in and you have to probably figure out a way of getting the best out of the team. But it seems the manager can't do that. And I think his judgment of talent, it's a bit questionable. From Wan-Bissaka, I keep saying it. I've been saying this not today, not because of the result, to Dan James, even to Harry Maguire. It was more of just getting British players, trying to be on the good side of the batons. Everything's just vibes and the meaning just how. So it's a total mess. But on the part of, I think it's more of an indictment on the part of the owners. Their only approach to Manchester United is just from the business point of view, not the footballing side. I think they are the ones, because left for me, probably after the first season, I will have probably given Solskjaer, a second letter. But for now, I think United fans will have to endure until it becomes, I've been saying it, until it becomes mathematically impossible, or it's looking like it will cost them the Champions League. That is only the time they will pull the trigger. For now,
pull the trigger.
Yeah, I don't think the team is not ambitious. You just have to, as a United fan, you just have to accept that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a right fit for the owners. He will not criticize them in front of the media. He's not going to question them. He will say the right thing. And I think it suits whatever the owners want. So United fans might just have to endure with this terrible time and probably just lower their expectation as much as they can.
Okay, lower your expectations like Arsenal fans. Sheyi, I'm going to come to you now. Chelsea versus Burnley. This was a game that Chelsea could have easily won 5-0 in the first half. But for some strange reasons, they could not score those goals that they should have scored. Wasn't for lack of effort. It was due to lack of good decisions in the long run. How much do you think Chelsea are actually missing Romelu Lukaku right now, Shay?
Yeah, I think that's actually the answer to what happened over the weekend. They played quite well, especially in the first half, and they created chances. Just think about the Chelsea team having probably a natural striker on the pitch on the day. I think that first half could have or would have ended like 2-3-0, and they'll be able to, change the team around, refresh legs in the second half. But it was not to be. And guess what? Burnley did a Burnley. I saw I actually saw a natural Burnley side that's going to put up a physical players against you. If they are able to get a goal, they go back to the defense and defend properly.
Yeah.
They have a fantastic goalkeeper in Nick Pope that actually came to the party on the day. And I think they deserve the points because they really worked for it. But I have to say, Chelsea are really missing their natural strikers. That's why they've been scoring in trickles recently. And you can also see them having defenders scoring. That is a sign of having a problem in your attack. But I'm sure when the strikers come back, they'll probably get over it and move forward from there.
I'm pretty sure every Chelsea fan will want Lukaku to come forward before Timo Werner, because when Timo comes, I don't see a difference in what they have right now. I was still thinking,
I think their top scorers this season, they've all scored like three goals.
Three goals.
Including of some defenders.
Oh wow!
Imagine that.
Wow. But they have goals all across the pitch. But of course,
but I think another thing is this, and I think one thing, the absence of probably Lukaku, Mount at a point in time has probably done for Chelsea is they've been able to explore their depth very well, and thankfully I think most of those guys have risen to the occasion. Even Ross Barkley, even though he missed some couple of games, I think he had a fantastic game against Burnley, and some other games he played. The center defense where he plays three, now he has like 6 options in that center, in that 3-man defense. There is Thiago, there is Rudiger, there is Azpilicueta, there is this Chucho. You see what's the name of that guy? That Chaloba, what's his name? Chaloba. There is Issa, and there is Christensen. Wing back, there is Alonso, there is Chua. So he's been able to do a bit of
give everybody. Everybody has been given their own chance.
Which means going into by the time you get to that December-January period, he knows that yes, outside the starting 11, there are a lot of players who could actually
come up and play well. Yeah. All right, perfect. Kachi, I'm gonna come to you now. We talked about this. We spoke about this last week. That Brentford it looks like they are going back to their own. They are going back to their own shell. 4 matches losing streak right now. They played against a championship side in Norwich City, and they were defeated. That's exactly, no disrespect to them, that's exactly their level. I think you were the one that said so. Okay, you went with us last week. Someone said they can't bully some of these things that they are equals with. Okay, you were the one that said, that they are equal with. So that's I think that's what we are looking out that is transpiring right now. Just a little bit of thing. Norwich have taken just 26 points from a possible 147 points in the Premier League under their sack coach, Daniel Fark. It was sacked on Saturday, which I think is unfair for someone that just won you guys 3 points. But your overall assertion, do you think Brentford are playing at their level right now? And do you think it's fair to sack a coach that just won you 3 points? That's respectful if you ask me.
I think when it comes to Brentford, I think it's a case of them adjusting their mindset and realizing that the league is really made up of maybe 6 top-class teams that will play in a way that suits their style, which is flair, let the ball do the talking, non-physical midfielders, cerebral players. After that, the remaining 14 teams are teams on their level, which means they would have to scrap to get points. When I said that last week, when they lost, can't remember who they lost to now, but when they lost their game, and I said they should not expect to play Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal
every week. So unfortunately for them, and unfortunately that's the reality of the Premier League. Lose 2 games and you are pulled into a relegation dogfight. That is what they are seeing happen to them now. Brentford is currently 14th on the table. And while they are not doing too bad, when you see, compare them to Burnley, Newcastle, and Norwich, all it takes is for them to lose another game, especially to a team below them at the moment. So to come back to your point, I say yes, they are now playing at the level we expected them. I mean, they were an unknown quantity, and it was actually a shock when they won against Arsenal on match day 1. We expect Brentford to be a mid-table team, battling and struggling to survive. I can't remember if ever, but if my memory serves me right, Brentford has never played.
No, they've never played in the Premier League.
In the old format, but in the Premier League. So they were not even supposed to do this well. So right now, similar to what is happening to FC Sheriff in the Champions League, they don't have
the surprise element is gone, like you call it.
They are going to be in a relegation dogfight because nobody wants to be bottom of the table in Christmas. Statistics has shown that if you are in the bottom 3 at Christmas, chances are that you will be relegated.
Exactly.
You need to change their mindset and realize we only have 12 games against the so-called Big Six. The remaining 36 or 26 games will be against teams battling to stay up in the league, and that will do them good. Now, coming to Thomas Park, I think it's basically a case of a send-forth victory that was given to him by the Norwich players. I think the news had been passed down before the game. They pretty much just didn't want to let the world know. I know we spoke about this during our production call, but it doesn't matter. He sacked me on Thursday, sacked me on Monday. It's still a sack. Why not let me know now so that I can send in my application on Sunday? The timing really doesn't matter, but it's always nice to live on a high, which is what he did. He will get the championship, which is probably where a man of his caliber should be coaching in the first place.
All right. Actually, I love that analogy.
All right.
But I think to add something about this Norwich matter is the only curiosity is, in as much as they've been very, very easy to play against getting to the Premier League, the major question they need to ask themselves is, we've seen this guy, I think, taking them back to the Premier League like 3 times now or something like that.
Yeah.
Do they think they will have somebody to do that again? If he doesn't even do well in the Premier League, I think the guy has actually mastered the championship. And I think that was why I think it took this so long for them to even decide to let him go.
Yeah. The truth is, they probably will not get anybody better for themselves to come back to the Premier League, because I feel they'll be relegated. That's one. And when the owners decide to sell their best players season in, season out, you can't expect anything better. Anyways, to the Crystal Palace Wolverhampton game, Crystal Palace did 1 over Man City. That was a surprise. But they continue extending their run to 6 games in the Premier League right now, defeating Wolverhampton, who had a 5-match unbeaten run in the league as well. Sheyi, I want to come to you. How much of kudos should we give to Patrick Vieira for this? And of course, we know Hodgson did pretty well with Crystal Palace, kept them in the Premier League for so long before he retired last season. So they had the foundation. But Patrick Vieira is putting a resurgency and a not so direct approach. It's a mix of tiki-taka and the right way to play football. He's not defending deep. He's not doing all those Moriers Q style of football. This is a mix of both. How much kudos do you think we should go to Patrick Vieira?
Yeah, thank you, Debo. I've actually been itching to talk about Crystal Palace in recent weeks. And guess what? I don't think the question should be about how much. I think it deserves all 100% kudos. When you see the Crystal Palace of this season, you definitely know that it's so different from Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace.
100%.
Now, when we talk about teams and coaches, why coaches get the sack, I think Patrick Vieira is a practical example of why coaches get the sack. The reason why I'm saying this is Crystal Palace this season, there was, I think around 2 weeks ago, there was a comparison between the number of passes that they make in a game and what they made over the years. I mean, when Hodgson was there and when other coaches were there, there's a total difference, almost like double, almost like ×2 of what they've been doing in terms of forward play, in terms of holding the ball, in terms of moving the ball around, and also the way they set up. You see a kind of triangle that doesn't, no matter the way they move, they still keep that shape. That is the imprint of a coach. So whenever people talk about coaches, I think Patrick Vieira is a typical example of when you come in, you bring in your mentality, your philosophy.
You stamp
it on a team. You remove the players that cannot play, and you bring in the ones that can play that way. Definitely, gradually, you see the progress, and I think that is what we are seeing in that Crystal Palace team. I want to say a little something about when you mentioned is an Arsenal legend. Fantastic. I also think the young man in Emirates is also doing something great too. Over the weekend,
okay, we'll get to that. Let me just we'll get to that. I'll stay with you for that. So Arsenal currently they're on a 3-match winning run, extended their unbeaten run to 8 games, did not concede in their last 2 league games, and this was a consecutive defeat for Watford. They are looking like second favorite for relegation as well. It looks, the game was not as easy for Arsenal as the scoreline was. It was a physical battle for them in the long run. They were bullied, or Watford tried to bully them, but Arsenal did not give in at the Emirates. And we see just give me an analysis of it. I forgot the question I want to ask.
Okay, I think you just took everything out of my mind. I think Watford actually bullied Arsenal team. But guess what? This Arsenal team that's kind of having a clean sheet. I think they had clean sheet last week and they have another one this week, even though they were bullied around. And I think that's a big kudos to the team, especially the defenders. It seems they are coming gradually to be a team to reckon with in terms of the defense. Kudos also to the coach. The particular game was his 100 games, and I think the first 100 games of Arsene Wenger in Arsenal has actually tallied with what he has done so far.
Yeah,
so
he has a better record than Arsenal. Arsenal has just 51 victories. He has 54 victories.
54, so that's slight. So a slight difference. But of course, for a coach that we've said all things about, I think that's not bad. He can only build on that, and the future.
And if he fumbles, we just have to call. We just have to go to the that side of London to get Patrick Vieira.
That's a nice one.
Of course. Arsenal, they are looking good for their money right now, but there's a but in this team, Kachi, which kind of worries me, and this is Aubameyang. Aubameyang is not getting younger, and nobody seems to be able to step up onto the plate if Aubameyang gets injured right now. Forget about the penalty loss. That happens day in, day out. Even the best players lose penalties. I don't know why Arsenal fans are crying foul over that. But realistically, if Aubameyang should get injured or leave Arsenal for any reason right now, there's no good replacement for him right now. Eddie Nketiah just has 1 year left on his contract. Gabriel Martinelli is not being given a chance right now. How do you think Arsenal will perform if something should happen to Aubameyang. Because he has been scoring most of their goals. He's still the highest goal scorer in Arsenal for all the penalties that he has lost this season. Actually.
Yes, it's still the highest goal scorer. That penalty made it 2 minutes out of 2 for the Gabon striker. But we're also getting to see Arsenal almost like Chelsea in this case. And I mean it in a good way, in the sense that they're getting goals from other parts of the field. Yes, you probably need to score more than one to win most games in the Premier League. But I mean, one of the best ways to win any match is not to concede. And right now, Arsenal is doing well in that particular department. Games like this in the past, even under the famous Arsene Wenger, they probably would have lost it because of that soft underbelly they had in the middle. But that doesn't seem to be the case now. I saw a clip that was making the round of Aaron Ramsdale kicking out a goal kick, playing against Leicester City. And you know how the Leicester fans heckle you. And they heckled him as soon as he kicked it. And he turned and followed them in their chants. They were chanting against him. Now that the Arsenal team is having a very tough mental team, which means they may concede fewer and fewer goals. The biggest mistake, or one of the biggest mistakes Arteta has done, was to give Aubameyang that big contract they gave him. That has tied down a lot of money. Unfortunately, you can also argue that we don't actually have a lot of potential talent in the Premiership to come to buy from. You probably have to buy outside, but not a lot of names to look at, except you want to go and get Paul Onuachu from the Belgian league, or a couple of other Nigerian players. And I'm just saying this as a joke. But to get back to your point, they may not score much because of, if Aubameyang leaves, it becomes a bit of a hassle. You have to fully depend on Lacazette, who hasn't really proven that he deserves a contract renewal. But if they are not conceding also, then it bodes well. They can get the odd goal from the Emmitt Smith-Rowe. Bukayo Saka, I think, will still come of age. Martin Odegaard also will still come of age. And then when these goals start coming from other areas of the pitch, maybe there will be less pressure on Aubameyang. This will be similar to Timo Werner not getting the goals, but coming with the medal every year.
Come on, man. Why do you have to bring Timo to this? Come on, man. And of course, Brighton and Hove played a 1-1 draw against Newcastle. So as it stands right now, our top 5 in the Premier League is still Chelsea, sitting comfortably at the top of the league, closely followed by Manchester City, 23 points as well, West Ham, 23 points, Liverpool, 22, and Arsenal, surprisingly, at 20 points. We hope they can keep that up. And of course, in the Serie A, AC Milan playing at home, technically against the blue part of Milan, played a 1-1 draw. AC Milan remains undefeated after 12 matches this season. Inter Milan are extending their own unbeaten run to 4 matches. Juventus, courtesy of Juan Cuadrado, scored in the 91st minute to defeat Fiorentina, hence ending their 3 unwinless run. Venezia, that Mr. Kachi said they are not good enough, defeated Roma 3-2. 3-2, they defeated Roma. Olale, there's fire on the mountain for Mourinho right now. There is fire on the mountain. It was not brought to Rome to lose games. It was supposed to take them off the wood that Fonseca led them in. Fonseca did a pretty good job a couple of seasons ago, 2-3 seasons ago. They were in the semi-final of the Champions League. They were making money. They were in the quarterfinal of the Champions League the following season. But last season was not too good. But it was still in the semi-final of the Europa League, if I was not mistaken, where Manchester United defeated them last season. But Mr. Mourinho is not doing anything right now. They just keep losing week in, week out. And they suffered the biggest loss under Mourinho's career a couple of weeks back at the Europa Conference League against an unknown team. I can't even remember their name. That's how bad it is right now. What is happening with Mourinho at Rome or in Rome?
for now, I think results are not actually going in the way of Jose Mourinho's team. They actually started very well at the beginning of the season, but I think
that's
the past
some years back. It seems
yeah,
like a lifetime ago.
I think it's a couple of games back they've been struggling. Well, for now I think there is still not much cause for concern.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't agree with you on that.
I think so. I just feel like in as much as I'm not probably a pro Mourinho, but I would just feel like they still need probably to watch the team till like December and before you can probably make a judgment. For now, I think result has not been going his way. That's just a basic thing. It's not actually not looking good. But I think the way they started the season is something they should still hold on to. Like if they could start the season like that, I think they can still get back to what they were what they did then.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I something, Debo?
Yeah,
I think
sure.
happened when Mourinho joined, and if you watch a lot of Serie A games, you'll see that what has happened was when Mourinho joined, he galvanized the boys without really changing the formation of play that Fonseca had there. So they had a proper way of playing the same style. It basically was like, okay, let's retain what we were doing before. We only had an addition, which is Tammy Abraham, and they got the early results. Now, as Mourinho starts to implement his style of play, his approach to the games, which the players haven't fully bought into, and I dare argue that he does not have the right caliber of players to play the style Mourinho likes to play. You begin to see them struggle. So to go back to, and this is not to counter Olawale's point, to now go back to Olawale's point, we'll need to give them probably an entire, not just half of the season, entire season to see if the players ultimately buy into that particular style. I think for them to ultimately do that, some players may have to leave because Mourinho likes this us against the world approach. Roma,
exactly.
And the boys right now in Roma, they remind me of a very young Kevin De Bruyne, who, if Mourinho criticizes openly, or even a very young Mo Salah, that cannot take criticism, because Fonseca was like a dad to them. He wrapped them. Right now Mourinho is implementing his style and is beginning to show that those guys are not caught up to it, in my opinion.
All right, perfect. I agree with you anyways, to a certain extent. I feel the Roma owners did not do well by selling Eddie Dzeko. I will keep saying it. If you get the goals, even if your defense is not so good, you can still do a little bit better. Roma played a 1-1 draw against Verona. And to the surprise one, in the Serie A, Napoli is still leading 32 points, same number of points with AC Milan, Inter Milan with 25 points, Atlanta 22 points, and Lazio on the 5th position at 21 points. Sarri is still holding his forte, at least to qualify for the Europa League. And of course, two not too good one for Barcelona. 3-1 early lead, or 3-0 early lead myself. And they drew 3-3 against Celta Vigo, with Igor Aspas scoring or breaking their hearts. But the question is this. Now we have, this is just a wave or a one-time thing, because Xavi Hernandez is back at the company. Olali, how excited should the Barcelona faithful be with Xavi coming back?
Yeah, the Barcelona faithfuls should. I think they should just. They shouldn't. I think the expectation should be a bit moderate. They shouldn't be too much of, because this is not 2008. The team. You see, I think because of the success of Pep Guardiola at Barcelona, everybody has been going around recycling of old former star. The same thing we had at Old Trafford, the man that actually brought back the feel-good factor, that says the right thing. We too wanted to copy Barcelona by doing so. So going back to this, I think they need to be very realistic with their expectation. To be sincere, I didn't see any of the clip of his team in Qatar, but the reports I've got, but the reports I've gotten has been a bit encouraging about his style of play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just think things are not really in order for now. I'm not sure whether he's the right person to rebuild, because I think there are some certain coaches who are made for rebuilding sake. When you talk about people like Gus Edink, when the house is in disorder, they could actually help you to come and. So I don't know whether he's the right person to, because like I said, the 2008 team Pep Guardiola inherited, won the bulk of them were part of the team that won the Champions League in 2006.
Yeah.
Majority of them were part of the Spanish team that won the Euro Cup in that same 2008. So he actually took over a very stable squad. He just probably needed to, to sell his own idea to the boys. So for Xavi, I'm sure we'll see some bit of difference in their approach, different from what
we currently have right now.
Koeman tried to implement it. So I tried to implement. So I just think they will need to give him time, and I don't think they have the money to do a lot of signing. But I'm sure he's going to look inward to get some talent for them. And for me, I think in summary, they just need to be a bit patient with him.
All right, perfect. And of course, Atletico Madrid played a 3-3 draw against Valencia, with Valencia scoring 2 in the injury time against them. Benzema, Luis Suarez right now has scored 7 goals with the last 9 games for Atletico Madrid. We don't know what's happening at the red side of Madrid. And of course, Real Madrid defeated Real Vallecano 2-1. Roberto Falcao scoring for Vallecano. Don't forget, Real Vallecano is owned by the best striker of all time, Ronaldo Nazario de Diva. Real Madrid has recorded their 2nd consecutive victory, extending their unbeaten run to 4 matches. And right now, they are sitting 2nd, closely following Real Sociedad with a match at hand. Sheyi, do you think with this form, I feel, but I'm just trying to echo my question out loud. Do you think Real Madrid are looking good for the league with their form, considering the usual culprits right now are not looking so solid? I think Real Sociedad are just sitting on the elephant right now. They are still going to fall.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think Real Sociedad is just surprise of the season for La Liga this season. They are going to stay there until the real owners come. Personally, I think Real Madrid are looking good for the league as long as they don't sustain unnecessary injuries to key players. Talking about Benzema, a Benzema injury could mean
change everything for them.
Yeah, could change a lot for Real Madrid right now. Not only because of his quality, I think his leadership on the pitch and the way you see his work rate actually also on the pitch shows a lot to the young lads around him. And Atletico seems to have dropped a little. Earlier in the season, we were talking about them not able, as in they were unable to score. Now they're scoring the goals, but seems to be conceding also as much as they are scoring. So if that continues for Atletico, I think Real Madrid are looking to be champions by February.
By default. All right. All right, perfect. And of course, in the German league, RB Leipzig defeated Dortmund 2-1, and Bordeaux lost to PSG 3-2 with Neymar scoring 2 goals. Kachi, we're not seeing so much of your brother these days. What's happening with Lionel Messi?
Messi currently is injured, but I think it has, and I hear rumors that he's been, well, actually he said it, that at some point he would like to go back to Barcelona, but he actually qualified it, that he said, in a director of sports role. I don't think Messi has fully, is fitting in well with that team because that team is not Messi centric. And secondly, and we've said this, all three of us, or even all four of us, have agreed that Pochettino is way over his head with the caliber of players he has right now. They need a Messi whisperer to come to that team. Unfortunately, only one person has successfully whispered into Messi's ear, and that's Pep Guardiola.
No, what about Luis Enrique? Luis Enrique won the treble with Messi.
Enrique probably did not whisper into his ear. Luis Enrique just told him, see, okay, this is your team. Just do what you have to do. Everybody Messi. He was not nurtured by Luis Enrique.
Yeah,
rather he was trusted by Luis Enrique. Yeah. I think there are two different things. Pep Guardiola allowed him make mistakes. Luis Enrique trusted him to orchestrate that team. Right now, there's a lot of ego playing up in Paris. Neymar obviously wants that team to be Neymar, Messi, and whatever the young Mbappe can go. PSG should have actually allowed Mbappe leave and then call this year or this season a rebuilding season with Messi there. That way they would have a lot of capital and people will understand them. Right now, whatever is wrong with Messi, they said he doesn't have a house yet. He's living in a hotel. So maybe that's the thing. He's feeling homesick. He doesn't understand the language. This is somebody that has only played in countries that speak Spanish. Now he has to learn a new language. The kids are probably struggling. The wife is probably struggling. I think it's
just like
on the more serious note, Argentines and I think Argentines are meant to, as in they are one of those people that are very rigid when it comes to learning cultures they are not really used to.
Like Grebes struggle. Like
you remember? Do you remember a certain? You remember a certain one Sebastian Veron?
Veron, exactly.
That's what
the only language.
That's what
you understand is
but like Pablo, Pablo, I must struggle with Portugal.
But that's not
good. Like, come on, guys. This is November.
I'm not giving him an excuse. Aguero spent almost 10 years in England.
Exactly. This is unarguably the best player we've ever seen play.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm just trying to buttress his point about probably he's not settling. I know Argentines for that. They are a bit very rigid. Sergio Aguero spent like 10 years in England. He couldn't, not like interview. The guy couldn't grant interview in English.
Yes,
I know.
It's that bad. Tevez is so bad that I'm not even sure he speaks English at all before. So I think they are just like that.
Oh God!
They are just like that. But again, that is not an excuse for him not performing.
Okay, Kashi, want to say something?
I wanted to add that if you now let's take it to Syria. This was why Silvio Berlusconi always looked for talent in Brazil as against going to Argentina for talent. The Brazilians were a little bit more amenable to learning and assimilating into culture. And for those of you who like arguing the Messi-Ronaldo conundrum, this is actually a big argument against Messi, that the very first club he will go to outside Barcelona, he is struggling. I mean, when somebody comes back and says, oh, well, I've always mentioned it, Messi is a system player. Ronaldo, even with Man U malfunctioning, so to speak, in their dysfunctional phase, Ronaldo
very dysfunctional
and shoulder above the rest of the players. He's done it everywhere. And I'm not saying Messi will not ultimately come back and succeed, but it lends credence to the argument that, and to what Olawale was saying, that the rigidity in most of these Argentines,
it's annoying if you ask me anyways.
That's why they want warmer climate. It doesn't rain a lot in Argentina. They come to England, it's sunny, they wear their t-shirt. Before they get to the train station, it's raining. They have to bring an umbrella. The accent, it's not just even one single English accent.
Tevez said there is no restaurant in Manchester.
There's no, what's trying to say, there's no Argentine
restaurant.
But realistically, since you're talking about Tevez is a dysfunctional human being. and this is why I say so. Yeah, this is why I say so. I remember Tevez going to China. Tevez was earning 800,000 pounds every week. And after Tevez left China, Tevez played 5 or 6 games for the entirety of the year, the period that he spent in China. And when he came back, he said, I went there for holiday. That's all. And Tevez is another reason why I said he's dysfunctional. Tevez actually came out to say he hates football. He only plays football because of money. So nobody should tell him about loyalty, tolerance, or anything. So Tevez just is in the world of his own. That's the truth about Tevez. Anyways, in the League One, PSG currently tops with 34 points right now, 10 points ahead of Lens that has 24 points, Nice with 23 points, Marseille with 23 points, and Rennes with 22. And in the not so competitive Bundesliga, Bayern Munich are leading right now with 28 points, Dortmund with 24, Freiburg with 22, surprisingly, Wolfsburg with 19 points, and RB Leipzig with 18. Going to the Dutch league, Ajax currently lead with 27 points, third on points with PSV and Eindhoven with 27 points as well. Feyenoord with 25 points, FC Utrecht with 23 points, and Venice Hammer with 22 points. Venice, don't forget, were unlucky to suffer defeat. So unlucky to suffer defeat from the hands of Spurs in the Europa Conference League, which we expect Spurs to win. And that's the wrap, and that's the show, guys. Thank you very much for staying tuned. We'll come back next week. Ensure you follow all our social media handles, News Instanta on Twitter, News Instanta 1 on News Instanta 1 on Twitter, News Instanta on Instagram, News Instanta on Facebook, and of course, News Instanta Sport on YouTube. Please ensure you like, stream, and love us. We love you guys as well. Thank you very much. And of course, don't forget, the winner of my birthday gift among the panelists will still be announced next week. Don't get anywhere, guys. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful week ahead. Bye.